Good morning, folks. Hope you're doing well out there. It's going to be another hot day here today, so I'm going to hide out in the shade just for another few minutes and get these boards edged. As you can see, these are the leftovers from the sawmill. I often will wait to take care of these and do them all at once. And what I used to do that with is the board edger. Now we'll take those boards, we'll run them through the edger, and we'll take off the sides, which have the bark on it, and then I'll be left with something useful. Now this type of process can be done all at once on a sawmill, but the problem with that is you have to take all the boards and you have to stack them up side by side, flip them on edge, saw them, flip them to the other side and saw them. Now that can take some time, certainly not impossible. I've done it for a number of years, but then this thing came along and this has certainly sped up the process. As I said before, this is a board edger, relatively new to me. It's got the belt drive there, so you'll see you've got this lever over here, a hydraulic tank, hydraulic motor and pump. And that's going to be powered with the motor. The belt will take the lumber in. I can set the distance where the blades are set. And if we look here, there's the two blades. One stationary, so the inside one there's stationary, the outside one moves. And then the down pressure is applied with those green rollers there. So the belts take the material in, we hit the blades wherever I set them, and then out the other side we're left with the waste, the edges, as well as the good lumber. So this thing certainly speeds up the process, hence why I get a big collection and do them all at once. Now you'll notice in just a few minutes, despite there probably being, oh, I don't know, maybe 40 or 50 pieces here, I'll get through these in just a few minutes, and I think that's one of the things I really like about it. Now, what I'm going to be making out of this for the most part is drying sticks, and so in between rows of lumber, like you can sort of see over there, there's air gaps. Those air gaps require stickers to maintain the distance from one layer to the next. You can never have enough of them, and so I'm going to use these leftovers from the sawmill to do just that. Now getting back to the board edger here, I mentioned that you can adjust where those blades are, and that's what we use this for. And so if you look at this pointer here and the scale, it's going to tell me where that second blade is. So the blade on the far left there. And so I can make that movement in, I can make that movement out. And so I can make a 20-inch board here if I needed to, edge a 20-inch board. In my case, they're quite a bit smaller, so we'll have it the other way. Aside from that, as I mentioned before, this is a hydraulically driven unit. So that engine powers that motor and the pump, and that's what's ultimately going to turn that belt. Now that belt moves in addition to this belt. Those are different belts, obviously. This belt here will pull out this way, and these two belts are also reversible. So if something starts going in for whatever reason, I need to back it out, I just have to move the handle in the opposite direction. Right? Aside from that, down below, there's options for some chutes. In fact, it comes with chutes, dust chutes. I don't have them installed here, so the dust just sort of falls off the underside of the belts there and then collects on the ground. My unit here also has a trailer, and this trailer allows me to move it around. This unit, though, you can get it without the trailer if you plan on just putting it stationary. Well, there we have it, folks. The trailer's empty, and that can only mean one thing. I'm all done for now, and I say now because the supply of logs is pretty much never ending if you look out in the woods. I've got lots of work to do, so I'm happy that this doesn't take all that much time. Besides that, it's really hot out here today. So we'll get out there, collect more logs before long, and get them over to the sawmill. Once we get more pieces ready to go through the edger, I'll be back here. As you can tell by all the dust underneath the edger, we certainly made a lot of cuts in a hurry, and that makes a nice sticker pile for me. I've got the stickers on the left, I've got the waste on the right. I'll bring that trailer through, pick stuff up, move it out, cut these to length, and I'll have a spot to stack lumber before long. Now with this unit here, there wasn't really anything unexpected today. I think this unit, just like every other piece of new equipment, you just got to learn it. And as you learn it, you get better at it. You estimate where to place the board on the conveyor, and ultimately you have to make less cuts because of that. With me, the odd time I didn't quite get the blade lined up where I wanted, and so I had to bring back the material and go through the process again. Now with this, there's two blades on here, as I said. There's the fixed blade, which is on my right, and there's the blade that moves. Now I have heard that you can add another blade to that. Now, that'd be kind of interesting, especially if I focused in on small material like these stickers, because then I could just make one pass and cut the boards into the sticker size without having to take the bigger piece and feed it back through. But that'll be a thought for another day. And some other things I'm liking here, the 6 feet tables here on each end, outfeed and infeed. I'm just one person here. In a perfect world, there'd be more than one of me. I could then just stand down there and stand up here and not have to worry about it sitting, the lumber that is, all by itself. But having the extended table allows that lumber to get support while I get around there to get it. Obviously, the longer the better, and so the 6 foot seems to fit the bill. And just one more thing before we go here. Big thank you to a gentleman named Theo from Grayson Forest Products, or Grayson Forest Products. He's next door to me, a neighbor, if you will, here in Quebec, Canada. He sells these things and all kinds of other sawmills and forestry products. He said that these things would be a big help for me, and so he wanted to send them to me. And well, he was right. These really do protect the ears, and they certainly are nice because not only can I answer phone calls or hear them coming in, but I can listen to some tunes if I'm doing something that allows it. And so thank you again, Theo, for these. I really appreciate it. If you see me out on the channel with these, you now know where they came from. That's going to do it for me here today with the old board edger and the trailer. I appreciate you watching, and well, if you like this video, don't forget to give her the old like-a-roo, as I call it. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you next time.